Welcome back to The Real Deal. I'm your host, Kim Hollingshead. You're listening to Super Talk 99.7 WTN in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm a real estate attorney. I am owner of Hollingshead Title and Escrow, and here through The Real Deal Radio, also provider of the Trusted Network, which is a network of real estate agents and lending professionals. And even if you need a roofer, if you need a home inspector, a photographer, anything to do with real estate, give us a call. It is 615-257-0565, or you can go to therealdealradio.com, or you can shoot me an email. That email is kim@therealdealradio.com. I would absolutely love to hear from you and also help refer you to a trusted professional who can help you with absolutely anything that you need. On today's program, we are talking about AI and my recent experiences with the AI madness that has been going on. I have been talking to my listening audience. We've been having this ongoing conversation, actually. It's a back and forth conversation for a while now about discernment and how AI is so clever. It makes us believe it is intelligent when in fact it actually has zero intelligence. All it is a language model. And not only that, it's not like it's God. It doesn't have all of the answers of the universe. It's not like because you own ChatGPT or Grok or Perplexity, all of a sudden now at your fingertips, you have the knowledge of the entire universe. It just doesn't work that way. It doesn't matter what you do for a living. Every single person who is listening to this program right now can absolutely attest to the fact that there are certain nuances to your profession, what it is that you do, how you advise your customers, your clients. It is different depending on year to year because regulations and rules constantly changing, circumstances, market conditions. But not only that, almost everybody is practicing within some sort of a niche within their industry, okay? And so imagine that you have somebody who's coming to you in your place of work and you have years of experience and you put in the blood, sweat, and the tears and the hard work to learn, and you've represented tens of thousands. I've done 10 to 20,000 closings at this point in my career. Represented clients doing multi-million dollar deals, double digits, many double digits into the millions, and represented thousands of homeowners. I mean, we just do hundreds and hundreds of closings every single year. You're going to tell me that ChatGPT knows an answer better than me? Probably not, okay? Why call? Why? Why not just give me a call? It's 615-257-0565. You don't need ChatGPT. You've got Kim GPT, okay? You've got Larry GPT. You got Misty GPT. Call your friends and your family. These people have been working within their fields for many, many years. I would trust their recommendation over ChatGPT any day of the week. Let me give you one example of why. There was a client of mine who put into, he's from like California or somewhere out west, okay? And he's buying a property here in Nashville, puts into ChatGPT how he wants to hold the title to the property, okay? He's one of those guys that probably invests in a lot of cryptocurrency, you know. I'm going to give you some stereotypes. Let's just pretend like I'm going to give you some stereotypes so you can sort of imagine in your mind what you would imagine that this guy looks like. Imagine this. He's investing in cryptocurrency. He does probably like software engineering. He's driving a Tesla, one of those cyber trucks, okay? He shows up to the office, you know, wearing jeans and like New Balance sneakers and super, super nice guy, but also not going to pick up the phone and call me for a recommendation. No, he doesn't need that. He's got technology. So he goes into ChatGPT and ChatGPT tells him, yeah, when you're buying property in Nashville, you're going to own it with your wife. What you want to do is you're going to hold it as a joint tenancy. Well, he emails me. He says, doesn't ask me, hey, Kim, what do you think is the best way? He tells me, we're going to hold title as a joint tenancy. I emailed him back and said, you're married to your wife? I think what we'll do is we'll hold title as a tenancy and tenancy by the entirety, because I think that's a better option for you. I explain it to him that the tenancy by the entirety is for married couples. It's best for married couples who are living in the home as their primary residence, because essentially a way to think about it and to, understand a tenancy by the entirety is to sort of consider that the wife and the husband both own the property 100%. They both own it in its entirety. So she's got 100%, he's got 100%. Not only does it mean that if something should happen to one or the other, the house automatically passes to their spouse without having to go through probate, which is a huge consideration, especially if someone has minor children living in the home. But also, what it does is protect that from creditors, because you can't do anything without the signature of your spouse. You can't take out a home equity line of credit. You can't attach credit cards, tax liens, et cetera, to that residence. It is a tenancy by the entirety. It would require the participation and the permission of your spouse in order to do those things. So it's a wonderful way to protect. And I think it's sort of an interesting concept because in many states, like in California, for instance, there are community property states and you own title together in the community. And so it just kind of has a little bit of a different connotation for people here in Middle Tennessee. I think it's better for people like stay-at-home wives or people whose husband, may be like self-employed or something. But regardless, in either case, if you're married and you're holding title in Tennessee, this is the way that you want to do it. My professional opinion. He emails me back and says, no, we're going to hold title. Very short with me. No, we're going to hold title as a joint tenancy by the entirety. Oh, well, thanks. I'm like, I pick up the phone and I give him a call. I say, sir, that is wonderful. But Tennessee does not have a joint tenancy. You do not get automatic survivorship rights with a joint tenancy. In fact, because Tennessee eliminated the automatic survivorship rights with joint tenancy, it's really mostly treated like it's a tenancy in common. So you can have a tenancy in common with or without survivorship rights, or we can have a tenancy by the entirety. And again, I highly recommend that as a married couple. This is probably more what you're looking for. He says, I'll call you back. He must have put it into ChatGPT. And it's interesting because, you can always tell when somebody is looking things up in AI in the way that they respond to you on something. But anyway, so he looked it up and then he emailed me back and gave me a call back and said, okay, yeah, you're right. That's how we're going to do it. We had a conversation at the closing table about it, in which case he did fully come out and tell me, yeah, I put it in to Grok or ChatGPT, and that was the answer that it gave me. It's going to give you that is just not what AI does. It is going to give you either somewhat, mostly, or totally incorrect information a lot of the time. But the way that it answers you is so sneaky because it makes it sound like the answer that it's giving, it's well-researched, I know what I'm talking about, I'm referencing these statutes. And even when you push back on AI and you go, are you sure that we can do a joint tenancy in Tennessee? Because I thought that the statute Tennessee eliminated the automatic survivorship rights of joint tenancy. It'll come back and say, oh, yeah, well, yeah, that's a nuance in the law. But here, you should push back on your attorney and, and tell her X, Y, Z. Because the thing is, it's designed to make you feel like you're correct. It even if it's wrong, it's interesting because I've tested this. I actually put these questions into AI and I present this to realtors sometimes and they just die laughing, you guys. It is the funniest thing in the world because they know what the answers are. They see the discrepancies within these prompts and these answers that the AI is giving me. I'll literally be like, well, what does the statute say? Oh, this is exactly what it says. And sure enough, what it's quoting me says that is abolish survivorship right. But then it'll continue to give me an answer about the survivorship rights. It does not care because it is not artificially intelligent. It is a language model. That's what it does. Why are we having this discussion today? Because the more that you understand what you're reading and what you're seeing out there is not necessarily real or correct, the better you're going to treat those around you and the more discernment that you're going to have when it comes to making decisions. We just want to put this awareness out there that it's not 100% correct all the time. When we come back from the break, I'm going to share with you one more story and you're going to die laughing. At this one is really a hoot. It is cuckoo bananas, you guys, just cuckoo bananas. You're listening to The Real Deal on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We'll be right back.